Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, I want to talk to you today about freedom, freedom that comes not from the outside, but from within. Freedom that comes when you break the chains of those who don't truly care about you. You have to first come to a place deep inside where you recognize something fundamental, that you are worthy. Not because of what you do, not because of what you have, but simply because you were created. There is an intrinsic value that no one can take away, no one can diminish, and no one can ever steal from you unless you give it away. This worth is not tied to the approval of others, not wrapped up in the opinions that flood your mind every day. Your worth is God, given, inherent, and eternal. Many people walk through life with their heads bowed low, weighed down by the lies of rejection, neglect, and disrespect. They carry the heavy burden of trying to prove their value to people who refuse to see it. But let me tell you something, when you chase after the validation of those who don't care, you will always come up empty. Your self-worth cannot be built on the shifting sands of someone else's approval. It will crumble, it will falter, and it will leave you feeling lost and broken. You have to wake up to the truth that you are more than enough. You don't need to change yourself to fit into someone else's idea of who you should be. You don't have to dim your light to make others comfortable. You are fearfully and wonderfully made, designed with purpose and potential. The moment you recognize your own value is the moment the chains of insecurity begin to break. Look in the mirror and declare, I am worthy, I am valuable, I am deserving of love, respect, and kindness. Say it until the voice of doubt becomes quiet and the truth of your worth shines through loud and clear. This is not arrogance, this is a divine truth. It is the foundation for every step you take toward freedom. When you know your worth, you will stop accepting less than you deserve. You will no longer settle for crumbs when you were meant to feast. You will stop giving your heart to those who toss it aside without a second thought. Your worth demands that you be treated with honor, that your time be valued, and that your spirit be nurtured. It takes courage to stand in your worth, because it means you must sometimes walk away from people and places that don't appreciate you. It means choosing peace over drama, love over rejection, and self-respect over people pleasing. But the moment you make that choice, you step into your power. You reclaim what has always been yours, your dignity, your joy, your freedom. So know this, your worth is your birthright. It's the foundation upon which you build every dream, every relationship, every moment of your life. Never forget it. Guard it fiercely. Celebrate it daily. Because when you recognize your worth, you unlock the door to your destiny, and no one who doesn't care about you can keep you from walking through it. There comes a time in your journey when you have to take a hard, honest look at the people around you, not with anger, not with bitterness, but with clarity and courage. You must identify those who do not truly care about you, those whose presence in your life is more draining than uplifting. This is not an easy process, because sometimes the people who don't care the most are the ones closest to us. They might be family members, old friends, or even colleagues, but recognizing this truth is a necessary step toward your freedom. The first sign is often subtle, a feeling of being overlooked, dismissed, or taken for granted. You may give your time, your heart, your energy, and they give little or nothing in return. You find yourself constantly reaching out, constantly giving, while they remain distant or indifferent. Their absence in your times of need, their silence in your moments of pain, speaks louder than words ever could. That's the voice of a heart that doesn't care. Sometimes you will catch yourself making excuses for them, telling yourself they're just busy, or maybe they don't know how to show love. But deep down, your spirit knows the truth. The truth is that love, care, and respect are actions, not just feelings. If someone truly cares about you, you will see it in their actions, whether it's a call, a message, a kind word, or their willingness to be present when it matters most. You must understand that caring is not conditional. It's not selective or based on convenience. It's consistent and reliable. When someone does not care about you, they show it over and over again in the choices they make. They choose to be absent when you need them, to dismiss your feelings, to ignore your struggles. This is not a reflection of your value, but a clear indication of where they stand in your life. Do not let the fear of loneliness keep you tethered to those who do not care. Holding on to unhealthy relationships only keeps you trapped in pain, confusion, and disappointment. The pain of walking away is temporary, but the relief and peace that come after are lasting. When you release those who do not care, you open space for new relationships that honor your worth and nurture your soul. Remember, identifying those who don't care is not about blaming or hating. It's about protecting your heart and your future. It's about creating boundaries that guard your peace and allow you to thrive. It's about honoring the value of your spirit and refusing to settle for less than you deserve. So, face this truth with courage. Look honestly at the people in your life. Ask yourself who consistently lifts you up and who repeatedly lets you down. Who stands by your side in the storm and who disappears when the skies turn dark. This clarity is a gift. It is the key to breaking free from chains that have held you captive far too long. When you identify those who don't care, you take the first powerful step toward freedom. Freedom from pain, freedom from disappointment, and freedom to walk boldly into the life you were meant to live. Making the decision to let go is one of the most difficult and yet most liberating choices you will ever face. It is a moment where your spirit rises up and says, "Enough is enough." This decision is not born out of anger or bitterness, but out of a deep understanding that your life is too precious to be wasted on relationships that weigh you down, that drain your energy, and that diminish your peace. Letting go means you stop carrying the heavy burden of hoping, waiting, and pleading for someone to change or to see your worth. It means you refuse to be caught in a cycle of disappointment and heartbreak. It is the moment you say, "I will no longer let my happiness depend on those who refuse to honor me." You see, holding on to those who don't care about you is like clutching onto a rope that is slowly strangling you. You are strangled by their neglect, their silence, their absence, but in the decision to let go, you cut that rope. You release yourself from the grip of pain and open your hands to receive the peace that has been waiting for you all along. This is not a decision made lightly. It requires courage because letting go often means stepping into the unknown. It means walking away from familiar faces, from memories, from a version of life that you once thought was meant to be. But remember, growth never happens in comfort zones. Freedom comes when you are willing to release what no longer serves you. You might fear loneliness or the shame of being misunderstood. You might worry about what others will say or think. But the truth is, your peace is worth more than the approval of the world. Your spirit was not made to be shackled by toxic ties. It was made to soar, to flourish, to walk boldly in the light of love and respect. When you decide to let go, You make space in your life for healing. You make room for joy that does not depend on someone else's acceptance. You create an environment where your soul can breathe freely and where your dreams can take root and grow. Letting go is also a declaration of self-respect. It says, I am worthy of better. I deserve relationships that nourish me, not relationships that diminish me. It is a powerful statement that no longer will you tolerate less than what you truly deserve. You will find that after the pain of release, there is a new kind of peace. A peace that surpasses understanding. A peace that tells you you are on the right path. You will discover strength you didn't know you had, and a freedom that feels like coming home. So, when the time comes, don't hesitate. Make the decision to let go with faith and with love for yourself. It is the beginning of a new chapter, one filled with promise, purpose, and the kind of freedom that only comes when you free yourself from those who don't care about you. Self-love and respect are not selfish acts. They are acts of survival. They are the foundation upon which every other relationship, every other success, every other joy is built. When you prioritize self-love, you are telling the world, and more importantly, yourself, that you matter. You are saying that your heart, your dreams, your spirit are worthy of protection and honor. Far too often, we give away our love so freely to others that we forget to pour it into ourselves. We chase after acceptance from people who don't care, hoping to fill a void that only self-love can fill. But self-love is not about being perfect. It's about being honest with yourself. It's about seeing your flaws and mistakes and still choosing to embrace who you are. Because you know that your value is not defined by your imperfections, but by your divine identity. Respecting yourself means setting boundaries. It means knowing when to say no even when it's hard. It means refusing to tolerate disrespect, neglect, or abuse from anyone, no matter how close they are or how long they have been in your life. Self-respect is a shield that guards your spirit from the harm of others and preserves your peace. It is the voice inside you that whispers, I deserve better. When you prioritize self-love and respect, you also learn to nurture your soul. You take time to heal wounds, to rest, and to grow. You stop running yourself ragged, trying to please everyone else while neglecting your own needs. Instead, you begin to listen to your heart, to honor your feelings, and to care for yourself as tenderly as you would care for a beloved friend. This kind of love is powerful because it transforms your entire world. When you love and respect yourself, you no longer allow anyone to define your worth. You stand firm in the truth of who you are. You attract relationships that mirror that love back to you. People who respect you, cherish you, and lift you up. It's important to understand that self-love is not an overnight change. It is a journey, sometimes a difficult one, filled with moments of doubt and struggle. But every step you take toward loving yourself more deeply is a step away from the pain caused by those who don't care. Every boundary you set is a declaration of your value. You deserve to walk through life knowing that your heart is guarded, your spirit is honored, and your dreams are supported. You deserve to surround yourself with love that starts with you and radiates outward. When you prioritize self, love, and respect, you reclaim your power and your peace. So today, make the choice to honor yourself. Celebrate your strengths, forgive your mistakes, and treat yourself with the kindness you deserve. In doing so, you will free yourself from the chains of neglect and indifference. You will open the door to a life filled with genuine love, respect, and fulfillment. You will become the champion of your own heart, and nothing or no one will. One of the most transformative things you can do on your journey to freedom is to surround yourself with people who lift you higher. Not just anyone will do. You must be intentional about the company you keep, because the people around you have a profound influence on your mindset, your emotions, and ultimately your destiny. When you surround yourself with positive influences, those who encourage, inspire, and celebrate you, you create an environment where you can grow and thrive. Think about the energy you give and receive. When you are with people who truly care about you, their love and support fuel your spirit. They speak life into your dreams, stand firm beside you during storms, and celebrate your victories as if they were their own. These are the people who remind you of your worth when you forget, who hold you up when you feel weak, and who push you to become the best version of yourself. But on the other hand, when you surround yourself with those who don't care, who are indifferent or even toxic, their negativity seeps into your soul. Their doubts become your doubts, their criticism becomes your fear, and their absence becomes your loneliness. It's like trying to grow a beautiful garden in the shade of dead trees. There's simply no room for life to flourish. The company you keep has the power to either nourish your soul or poison it. You must be deliberate in choosing friends, mentors, and companions who inspire you to rise, who speak truth over your life, and who walk with integrity. These are the people who challenge you to stretch beyond your comfort zone, who hold you accountable, and who remind you that your dreams matter. Surrounding yourself with positive influences is not about perfection. It's about connection. It's about finding those souls who resonate with your spirit, who encourage your growth, and who celebrate your journey. It's about building a community that uplifts you rather than tears you down. When you make this shift, you will notice a difference. Your confidence will grow, your peace will increase, and your joy will multiply. You will no longer feel alone in your struggles because you will have a tribe that stands beside you. You will begin to attract even more positivity because like attracts like. Remember, you cannot pour from an empty cup. Being around people who care refills your cup, renews your strength, and ignites your passion. You deserve to be surrounded by love, encouragement, and genuine care. So, seek out those who celebrate your wins, support your growth, and stand with you through every season. Let go of those who drain your energy and cloud your vision. When you surround yourself with the right people, you create a powerful force that propels you forward and frees you to live the life you were born to live. Stepping into your freedom and purpose is not a moment of hesitation. It is a bold declaration. It is the moment you rise above the pain, the disappointments, and the chains that once held you captive. Freedom is not merely the absence of bondage, it is the presence of power, the power to choose, the power to walk boldly, and the power to live fully on your own terms. When you free yourself from those who don't care about you, you unlock a new dimension of your life. You begin to see clearly where your strength lies and where your destiny calls. No longer weighed down by doubt or held back by toxic ties, you can move forward with confidence. You become the architect of your own future, no longer a prisoner to the approval or neglect of others. Purpose and freedom are intertwined. You cannot truly walk in purpose while chained to the opinions or neglect of those who fail to see your worth. Purpose demands that you take control of your story, that you embrace your unique gifts and callings, and that you live with intention and passion. Freedom is the key that unlocks that door. It requires courage to step into this freedom. There may be fear, fear of the unknown, fear of loneliness, fear of change. But courage is not the absence of fear. It is moving forward despite it. It is choosing to believe in yourself even when others don't. It is deciding that your destiny matters more than the doubts and negativity that try to hold you back. When you step into your freedom, you begin to rewrite your story. You no longer let the chapters written by neglect or indifference define you. Instead, you become the author of a new narrative, one filled with hope, strength, and triumph. Every step you take in this freedom is a testimony to your resilience and your unwavering belief that you deserve more. This freedom also invites you to live authentically, to shed the masks you wore to please others or to hide your pain, to stand in your truth boldly and unapologetically. When you live authentically, you attract the right people, opportunities, and blessings that align with your true self. Remember, your life is a gift and your purpose is a call. When you free yourself from those who don't care, you honor that gift and answer that call. You move from surviving to thriving. You walk not in the shadows of others, but in the light of your own destiny. So, step forward today with faith in your heart and fire in your soul. Embrace the freedom that comes from letting go and walk boldly into the purpose that awaits. Your life is waiting for you to claim it. No chains, no burdens, no limitations, just freedom, purpose, and the unstoppable power of a soul set free.